Hello, everyone. I am Michelle E. Watson, your artisan storyteller, helping you find your creative voice. This is the current series that I'm doing. So far, I have covered ways you lose your voice, what your voice is, and I'm going to start talking to you today about how to get your voice back. Because we're all born with one. Children are born with a voice. They don't care who is listening. If they're hungry, they cry. If they're wet, they cry. If they're sleepy, they cry. If they just want your attention, they cry. And so over time, though, we often get our voice taken away from us, or we lose it. We may let it go and just choose not to express it for whatever reason. Maybe we've learned to not express it. We've been told that our voice isn't worth it, isn't worth listening to, or maybe someone has abused us so much, or something so traumatic has happened that we just don't want to express our voice anymore. And so, but God gave us a voice for a reason. You'll remember in my other videos, if you've watched them, that I defined the voice as the ability to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. And so that's so very important. I'm going to talk to you, or just tell you a little story. I read a lot of books. I love biographies and memoirs. They're some of my favorite genre. And I'm reading a book right now that is not my usual genre, and it's going to freak some of my Christian friends out, so just prepare yourself. I am reading a book by a woman who used to be one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. Okay? She lived in the mansion with him at a time when he was still adamant about having 7 girlfriends at one time. She stayed with him until he went down to only 3. And she, at the point that I'm at in the story, she's been with him like 5 or 7 years. Okay. So we're talking a long time, longer than most of the other girls would have stayed in the Playboy Mansion. And so, I'm reading the story because she's telling, what her life was like and how and why she got out and left and what she's doing now. It's not written from a Christian perspective. As far as I know, she's not a Christian now. But I'm reading it because it's giving me a lot of insight into, first of all, human depravity, because the man was just sick. But the behaviors and the mentalities of women who fall for men like him. Yes, many of them are manipulative, and they're using him just as much as he's using them. But the woman who wrote this story is one who was not as manipulative. She was really, honestly, a true hometown girl who wanted to make her way in Hollywood. She saw Finding. She believed that being in Playboy would be the answer to propel her and be a stepping stone to stardom. And in the process, she ended up living in the mansion because her choice was either work her way in there or be homeless. And so she chose to work her way into living in the Playboy Mansion. And the most interesting part of the story is, though, that she's not glamorizing their lifestyle. She reveals in it a lot of her hurt, a lot of the pain, mental, emotional abuse that Hefner put these women through, that caused her to stay because she had been so beat down. Here's the thing, is that you don't get to be a girlfriend with a man like Hugh Hefner if you're ugly. Or if, I should say, if people don't find you attractive. Let's say it that way. Because I know there are people who will come back, well, nobody's ugly because we're all made in God's image. Okay. So, but if other people don't find you attractive, you're not going to, first of all, be invited to these parties. Second, you're not going to be invited into the mansion. It's just not going to happen. So the girl was by no means ugly or unattractive. Yet he abused her so much, not physically. She doesn't mention anything about them ever being hit, but he was a screamer and a tyrant and ruled through rules. I mean, there were serious rules these girls had to follow. And so I do say girls because they were so young, and some as young as 19 years old. And so it was just, this horrible, horrible situation. But she reveals what it was like to be made to feel ugly by this man. He made her feel like she couldn't be in Playboy because she was too ugly. All she was good for was being his girlfriend. Okay? That is how she made him feel. He made her feel. Excuse me. And I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that. And she finally at some point realizes that he was just manipulating her and lying to her, that he really actually did find her quite beautiful. And I won't reveal how she found that out, but she did. And that made her feel a lot better about herself, but she still felt like she needed to shelter and protect this man, and she really cared about his feelings. And so it was just interesting that for a long period of time she had no voice. He wouldn't listen to her. Anything that she did say, he would often use it to manipulate her through the other girls. He loved pitting the women against each other so that they were in constant conflict. He liked that. It was entertainment to him. And so, in essence, even the ones who had stronger personalities, to some degree, lost their own personal voice. They lost their ability to say what really needed to be said, which was, dude, you are a sick pervert. I'm not staying here anymore. Get out of my life. That's what really needed to be said. Okay? So anyway, that brings me to this current story, which is one of the things he did not like, Hefner, was red lipstick. He loved it on his 1950s and 60s pinups and actresses, such as Marilyn Monroe and many, many others. But he refused to let any of his girlfriends wear it. And if they did, he would make them pay for it. He would belittle them and just really torture them over it. So, mentally and emotionally, like I said, there wasn't any physical abuse. So once that happened, of course, they were scared to death and they never did it again. And it got me to thinking about my own views about red lipstick. You can see that I'm wearing some today. And there's a reason for that. And it's not because I've been reading this book and I decided to just do it. I've had a red lipstick for a long time. Okay. I think I got it probably around Christmas time because I was going to be on stage. And when you're as pale as I am and you're on stage under bright lights, you don't want to be completely washed out by the lights. So you do your makeup a little darker and a little brighter and a little bolder to stand out. And so that's most likely why I have one. I can't think of any other reason why I would have a red lipstick, because I am typically the kind of person who likes to not be seen and heard, to not stand out if I am going to be seen and heard. I lead worship at my church right now. I lead the English portion of the service, and if we do a Spanish song, I lead that as well. But I still don't want to stand out, especially since I'm the only one on the stage at the time. I would rather just be muted, have my makeup soft or undetectable, but just enough to keep me from looking truly pale or as white as a sheet of paper under the bright lights of the sanctuary. So, but I still don't wear this bright lipstick. But then I got to thinking, one really easy way to get your voice back or to experiment with what your voice might be, your personal, creative, bold voice, is to play with your makeup. Because after all, if you don't like it, you can wash it off. You're not going to hurt anybody with it. See, one thing that people fear about finding their voice is that if they say the wrong thing to somebody, they might hurt their feelings. And if you don't have a lot of social skills because you haven't had a personal creative voice and had a lot of interaction with people on the social scene, then that might be true. And so that might be a legitimate concern. And that's something that a counselor or a good friend, a confidant, a mentor can help you through. But makeup isn't going to hurt anybody. And you can get really cheap makeup from the drugstore. You can get semi more expensive from Merle Norman or Mary Kay, or you can go really high end and, your Lancome, Estee Lauder, Clinique, etc., etc. All depend on what your skin type needs. I personally don't shop at drugstores because their products tend to make me break out. So I buy the higher end stuff, but you don't have to. You're just experimenting. You're just going to put it on, wash it off. Say, oh yeah, I like that. No, I don't. So I said, I'm going to put on my bright lipstick today because someone told me I didn't need it. My 9-year-old granddaughter loves to tell me, and today was one of those days that she did so. She loves to tell me, Grandma, you don't need makeup to look pretty. And I was like, okay, I gotcha. So I went in and I did my eyes and I put on eyeliner for the first time in, I think, 15, 20 years. And I actually put on my red lipstick, which I probably haven't worn at least since Christmas time. And I said, how do you like this? And she said, I don't like it. You don't look good. Now see, that's her voice. She is stating an opinion. She doesn't think Grandma looks good with makeup. She especially hated the red lipstick. But see, I've been watching these videos with this woman named Bailey Sarian. She has these mystery and makeup Facebook videos that she does. She does a lot of other videos too, but the ones I like are the mystery and makeup, where she talks about some kind of murder mystery, solved or unsolved, and does her makeup at the same time. And so I've been watching her videos for a while, and I said, I'm going to start playing with my makeup. I'm going to start doing my makeup with Bailey so I can try to maybe get some of these great techniques going with cat eyes and everything else. Because if I don't like it, then I can just wash it off. I'm not going to wear it anywhere. My particular church is very conservative. We're very small as well. And so no one wears makeup. It's not a hard and fast rule. Don't wear makeup here. They're not going to kick me out or say anything if I do wear it, except to notice it. However, because none of them wear makeup, to my knowledge anyway, I don't want to stand out too much, right? Plus, I hate wearing makeup, so it's a win-win. I'm in a church where I don't have to, and I don't want to. Yay! So, but when I'm at home, I can play with my makeup. I can find my voice in it, and it's an easy way to do it. Because if I don't like it, or if somebody else is like, all I have to do is wash it off. And I can wash it off before I leave the house so no one else has to see that I was playing around and messed it up and, have 10 times more makeup on this side than I do this side, which is usually I think the other way around because I'm left-handed. So usually my left side turns out really great. And then my right side turns out either hardly any makeup or it's done really, really heavy by accident because it's just hard to control your hand when it's on the opposite side of your face and you're in a mirror at the same time, right? So that's my encouragement to you today. Take a step in finding your voice. Ladies, not men. Men don't put on makeup. Please don't. It's you'll have to find your voice some other way. Get a haircut that you've never gotten before. Or even grow a man bun. Those don't look so bad sometimes on certain men. But, just play with your look. If you're a lady, put on the makeup. If you're a man, change your clothes, your hair. Do something that is uniquely you, that you just want to have fun with, or you just want to give a try. If you don't like it, no harm done, right? Just wipe the slate clean and start again. Hair can always grow back, unless you're balding. And makeup can be washed away. Clothes can be changed. And so it's a really simple, easy way to find your voice. So that will be my recommendation of one thing you can do to find your voice. And hopefully next week I will come back with another suggestion and another really good story on how you too can find your voice. Don't forget to subscribe at the bottom. Click the subscribe button to get notifications of our channel. And I will see you again soon. Bye.